All right, raise your hands if you have lived part of your life thinking your unofficial title was failure. G'day, it's Mark from Failurist here. By the way, this is take 3, so let's just keep going. This is a case study into failure as a lifestyle. Obviously, when I say case study, it's just based on my life, but I just wanted it to sound fancier. So this is how, for many years, I saw myself and my unofficial title as failure, in that I thought that life was just about a series of fails. So how does one get to that stage? Well, let me tell you a story.
Story time.
So here's the reality. Like, one doesn't, when they sort of see failure as their life or, their title, they don't go around walking 24/7 going, oh, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. It's, just about having a series of fails, but also doing a lot of work in anesthetizing and avoiding the pain that comes with those sort of failures. So you're virtually mostly just trying to work a way not to tackle the hard things. And how do you do that? Well, we've never been in such a glorious time to avoid failure, experience pleasure, and just take comfort in easy things. But so often than not, the piper always has to be paid, and it's these times that you feel the weight of fails and failure and these events, and, you're in action in trying to fight your way out of them. So you don't say the words fail or failure, but you accept that life just isn't going your way. And when life doesn't go your way, it's not just one event that doesn't go your way or one aspect of your life that's not going away. The reality is it's multiple events and multiple aspects of your life that you're just not winning, which means you're losing. And if you're losing, you're failing at it. So for me, I was stuck in a job that I just didn't like and couldn't get out of. Fail. From that point, I wasn't growing, which means that financially I was living at a deficit. Fail. I was living off credit. Fail. Because money was tight, it was putting my relationship under strain. Fail. To comfort myself, I would eat lots and lots of food and not salads. It was basically all the food that makes you gain weight. Fail. And because I was gaining weight, I was unhappy, so I was drinking a shit ton. Fail. TV. Fail. And there you go. You see, life is a series of events that you just fail at, and therefore you come to deduce that your life and your lifestyle and your personality is just a failure. But that is the con of mankind. Life is a series of events and experiences. Part of that's fail, part of that's success, but it's not just one thing. Within that time I had kids, it was an out and out success. And there was so many other good things that I can't tell you because I can't remember. And I spent hours trying to draft this, trying to remember, but I guarantee you they were there. Okay. And you have your better days as well. You don't just have bad days. That's a misnomer. There is good within the bad because you can't experience just bad. Otherwise you have no point frame of reference. Okay. And it's like, but the thing is, it's hard to think about the positive things because, we're conditioned to seek out that negativity. I think about sportsmen where, I've read their sort of, where they've had 100 positive comments on their performance, but it's that one negative aspect that they cling to and they really can't get past, and that's because that's how we're conditioned. It only takes one tree to make 1,000 matches, but it only takes one match to burn 1,000 trees. Stereophonics, what a great song, yeah? Yeah. All right, well, let's keep going. We're on a roll. So how do you get out of viewing your life as a failure? And how do you go from that as a lifestyle to just viewing them as a series and a collective of events. So for me, the first thing I had to do was acknowledge where I was at in life. And it wasn't a good place. It wasn't a good place. Psychology was all off. I was overweight. I was fat. Broken. All of that. I've spoken about that ad nauseum. But what you have to do is acknowledge that you're there. The next thing that you have to do is just breathe. Breathe, because you're okay. If your inspiration and the only one at that is breath, you're okay. Okay. And then you have to acknowledge that this is not an easy fix. It's not a pill. It's not like a click of a button and all of a sudden you're in a better situation. You actually, well, for me, I had to then take pen and paper, and I'm not proud to say it, but also I would have these drinking sessions where I would just journal. I would just journal where my life was at and try and get perspective, and highlight all the things that were going wrong and all the things that, I needed to address. Um, Fundamentally, the first thing that I had to do was acknowledge, that I was overweight and I was unhappy because I was overweight, and it's a snake that eats its own tail. So how do I get through that? And for me, it was exercising daily. I had to exercise daily. So I started walking. I purchased a rower. Now, what happened off the back of that was I actually uh, had sustained or created osteoarthritis off the back of that, but that's a story for another day. But what it did do is it gave me a sense of clarity, and it started to align things into seeing these events as singular events, lots of them, but they were singular. Okay, so once that was established, it was then about doing something about those elements, um, financially. Okay, I need to uh, structure my finances in a certain way. I need to reduce my expenditure. I needed to tackle my credit debt, and then build a sustainable wealth model. Okay, as well as looking for other work. So I did that. I also then looked about diet, and because I had sort of the health event, I had to actually drastically reduce my caloric intake. So I went on a ketosis diet, and within 4 months, I'd gone from an XXL to a medium. But that was based off the fact that I had exercised every day for a year, and not lost weight, but it had built that resiliency muscle. I had a series of successes, even though the overall outcome wasn't a success. But I had built resilience, and within that, I knew I could do it because I'd done it. And so when I tweaked something, it, was a drastic win. And then I started to apply that methodology into every aspect of my life. Now, did that mean that every aspect of my life is going well? No, absolutely not. But it did allow me to reframe my life and my situation, in that I could then delineate that life was about a series of events, a series of aspects, and you will get successes and failures, but they are events. And that's what Failurist is all about. It's about failure is an event, not a lifestyle. And that's all it is, and there will be times where they all come together and you will feel that wave crashing upon your head. I mean, financially, I'm feeling it at the moment, but I also know that I can't, even though I do take losses and I do take days where I can't even, I do understand that the only way out is through. So I have to then take my bad day and then turn it into a good day the day after. And I've done that, and I'll keep doing that. And you generally only need one person to say yes. But in order to do that, you have to have a bunch of people say no to you. And that's what Failurist is. It's not a panacea for everything. It's not going to make, food taste better, colors look brighter. It's about, okay, we're in life together. We have to knuckle down. We have to see it as events. We have to be forthright in what they are. And that's what I try and do, is try and be genuine in that. I know that people aren't watching, but that's okay. Maybe there'll be one that does, and that helps them see these events, see them, not see the lifestyle, see the event. And, you know, that's all you need to do is you need to take stock, need to take the learnings, okay, and then try and get those wins. Try and get those wins, learn from the fails, but take the wins as well. Okay. Now, I am mandated to tell you that if you like this, like and also subscribe, because I haven't been saying that recently and the algorithm got really mad at me. So I have made an apology video, which I'll try and sort of tag here. But yes, please like and subscribe. Also, I have a website, failurist.com. And I want to leave you with this. I wish you nothing but the best in your journey. And just remember that the night is darkest just before the dawn. Okay, that's from a Batman movie. Adeus.